Have you heard about Maxie, Hasbro's attempt at rivaling the success of Barbie? In the mid-1980s, American toy company Hasbro decided to produce more fashion dolls to challenge their longtime rival Mattel, who had a stronghold over the market with the Barbie brand. As Mattel was recovering from their financial woes from the previous decade, Hasbro saw an opportunity to capitalize on the situation. In 1986, Hasbro released Gem, a fashion doll line inspired by the glamorous pop stars of the time. Hasbro's then vice president, Al Carosi, told United Press International in December 1986 that with the advent of MTV, Nickelodeon, and Miami Vice, a rock and roll feeling has permeated the youth market. Much like their other toy brands, such as G.I. Joe and My Little Pony, they would create a multimedia brand for Gem, which included books, original music, and a cartoon series by Sunbow Productions. An important thing to note is that the Gem cartoon was released months before the toy line, on October 6, 1985, to circumvent criticisms that the cartoon was a glorified toy commercial. However, many considered the decision to release the cartoon first as a fatal move for the brand. Motivated by Gem's initial success in 1986, Hasbro set lofty goals when planning their future products. The company planned to release another doll line in 1988 alongside Gem that would be a direct competitor to Barbie. This upcoming line would center around a blonde California teenager named Maxie. While Hasbro had great expectations for Gem and Maxie, they didn't anticipate that their chief rival, Mattel, would always be a step ahead of them. In the Netflix series, The Toys That Made Us, Mattel's former VP of Girls Marketing, Judy Shackelford, admitted that she had a special team called the Pink Berets to thwart brands that could challenge Barbie. Shackelford would recall in the Barbie episode of the series how she heard about the concept for Hasbro's Gem line.
About a week later, I got a call, and it was from one of the sales guys. And he said, "Judy, I know what it is." I said, "What?" And he says, "She's a rock star." And I said, "We're going to beat him to market."
Many collectors and industry insiders have speculated about how Mattel found out about Gem. Stephanie Iskander, who designed for the Gem and Maxie lines while at Hasbro, would mention in an Instagram post about a few theories of how Mattel potentially discovered Gem. It might have been a Hasbro employee or an unscrupulous buyer. My theory is that it was discovered at a Chinese factory or Hong Kong showroom where someone saw something. Toy companies often shared toy factories and security is lax. With their findings, Shackelford and her Pink Berets had enough lead time to swoop in and steal Gem's spotlight with the Barbie and the Rockers line. Jill Barrett, former CEO of Mattel, would note that the development period for a Barbie line at the time was 18 months. Though for the Barbie and the Rockers line, they had a goal to develop the line in 4 months, which for context was roughly the amount of time between Gem's cartoon debut in October 1985 to its toy line debut at New York Toy Fair in February 1986. According to Barad, the design team at Mattel came up with the Rockers concept within 16 hours. And since Mattel had years of experience developing fashion doll brands, they were able to expedite their design and production process when needed. Hasbro, on the other hand, was not as experienced in making fashion dolls and would adapt the body and face sculpts from Kenner's Darcy range for Gem. Other aspects of the Gem brand had to be developed from scratch, which meant that Hasbro needed to invest heavily in research, development, and marketing. Challenging an established brand like Barbie was no easy feat, and it certainly didn't help that the Gem line had some issues upon its release. Memorable features of the Gem toy line, such as Gem's flashing Gemstar earrings, real audio cassettes, and detailed fashions, racked up manufacturing costs and the doll's overall price on the market. The Gem doll size, and look was also a big deterrent for many stores and consumers. Due to the doll's larger height, stores had to accommodate for the taller packaging, which affected how the dolls were stocked on shelves. Additionally, consumers complained about the lack of compatibility between the gem doll's fashions with other doll brands, particularly Barbie. After all, Barbie was the standard. With competition from the 1986 Barbie and the Rockers line and Hasbro's budget issues, the gem brand could not reach its full potential. While many consumers loved Gem's ambitious concept and the cartoon was one of the highest-rated children's shows in syndication, Hasbro was not getting the amount of sales needed to justify the millions of dollars invested into the brand. The Gem doll's look would change significantly over the course of its run. First-year Gem dolls had a bold look compared to other dolls on the market, which may have been a turn-off for certain consumers. For the brand's second year, Hasbro would soften up Gem and give her a more approachable smiling face sculpt. But even with the changes, sales were not improving and Hasbro ended up canceling the Gem line altogether in 1988. However, they were still confident enough to go ahead with the Maxie line. The cartoon and first wave of toys would have some notable inconsistencies. Maxie's boyfriend, Rob, was depicted in the cartoon as a tan brunette with shorter hair, while in the play line, Rob had long blonde hair. Subsequent releases of Rob would look similar to the cartoon. Simone would be known as Kristen in the first wave, but subsequent releases would use the Simone name. Much like its predecessor Gem, the Maxie toy line would debut months later in March 1988. Hasbro would take the feedback they received from the Gem line and incorporate it into the Maxie line. Maxie was 11.5 inches, much like a Barbie doll, and had a bright, youthful image. Wayne Charnas, Hasbro's Associate VP of Public Relations, would tell AP that Barbie seemed like an older yuppie while the teenage Maxie doll seemed more relatable to younger consumers. The doll was also marketed as being more affordable, making it more accessible to a wider range of consumers than Gem or even Barbie. Maxie dolls ranged in price from $5.50 to $13. As a direct competitor to Barbie, Maxie had similar features, including bendable knees, a smiling face, and voluminous blonde hair. Some versions of the Maxie doll had a jointed torso for additional posing. But unlike her rival, Maxie had lighter makeup, wider body proportions, and flat feet to emphasize her youthful image. To promote the doll, Hasbro would use nearly 70% of their marketing budget and planned to spend $7 million for Maxie commercials and live events. Actress Brooke Tice would be featured in the TV ad campaign as the live-action version of Maxie. Charnas would call the juxtaposition between the dolls and Tice as innovative advertising for a fashion doll, with the hope that Maxie was perceived to be more realistic than Barbie. The first wave of Maxie dolls included the Lookin' Smart, Making Waves, and Perfect Prom collections. The Lookin' Smart collection featured Maxie and her friends Carly, Kristen, and Ashley. The collection would also include Maxie's boyfriend, Rob, who would notably use an unused male sculpt from the Gem line. The Making Waves collection was a budget-friendly beach line, which featured 3 different versions of Maxie. Each doll had a swimsuit, hair accessory, and swim goggles. These dolls would not have a jointed torso like the other 2 collections in this wave. The Perfect Prom line featured Maxie in a pink lacy prom dress with blue ribbon details. The doll was scented and included a scented pendant for kids to wear. Hasbro would also release furniture and accessories for Maxie, such as her Too Cool locker, daydreaming bed, and Sun and Sail windsurfer. Both the locker set and bed were produced by Hasbro, while the windsurfer was licensed out to Meritus Industries. Meritus would also make the Maximum 4x4 vehicle. Hasbro would also sell mix and match fashions and gear packs, which included clothing items, hair accessories, and shoes that were compatible with Maxie and other 11.5-inch dolls. In fact, Some Maxie products would explicitly note their compatibility with Barbie and similar-sized dolls, a lesson Hasbro learned from their Gem brand. What they didn't learn from Gem was that Mattel would have a competitor brand ready to counter Maxie.
Meet King's Jazzie, she's so cool, the coolest girl in school.
In 1989, Mattel would release Barbie's teenage cousin, Jazzie. Toy industry analyst Sean McGowan would tell James Hirsch of the New York Times that Jazzie was a direct shot at Maxie. Much like Maxie, Jazzie was a blonde with a cheerful, smiling face, recycled from the Hart family line. Jazzie would have a redhead friend named Chelsea, a black friend named Stacy, and a boyfriend named Dude, an almost like-for-like copy of Maxie's friend group. Jazzie had the benefit of being associated with the Barbie brand, while also providing something new for consumers that wanted a doll that was younger than the comparatively urbane Barbie doll. The Jazzie doll would cross over into some Barbie collections, such as the Hawaiian Fun line, which helped give more recognition to the spin-off brand. On the other hand, with Maxie, Hasbro had to work from scratch to build brand recognition for the line. They didn't have a godmother brand to depend on, and had to hope for the best with Maxie. Hasbro would release more Maxie dolls, which included the Beachy Keen, Slumber Party, Dance and Romance, Cheerleader, Hula Hoop, 101 Fashion Looks, and Ballerina lines. Some variants of these dolls would include a Maxie-themed bracelet charm. Similar to Making Waves, the Beachy Keen line featured 3 versions of Maxie in a bathing suit. A surf watch playset would also be released, which included a lifeguard stand, swim trunks for Rob, and other beach accessories. Hula Hoop Maxie was a standalone release, which featured a hula hooping gimmick. The Slumber Party line featured Maxie, Simone, and Ashley dressed in their pajamas, hair bows, and fluffy slippers. The dolls would also come with a pillow accessory. Dance and Romance was another prom-themed collection, which featured Maxie and Rob. Rob would notably sport his TV look with sculpted brunette hair, a smiling face, and new body. The Dance and Romance Maxie doll would have a Grow So Pretty hair gimmick, where with a gentle pull, her hair would grow. The doll included a key that, when inserted into the doll's back, would retract the hair. The Dance and Romance collection would also include the Candlelight Dinner Party playset and a set of formalwear fashions by Hasbro. The Cheerleader line featured Maxie, Ashley, and Carly. Maxie had a varsity jacket and pom-poms, Carly had a fringed leotard and twirling baton, and Ashley came with a logo sweater and megaphone. This line featured a new body, which had a twisting waist and legs that could swing forward and sideways for more posability. Another extracurricular-themed doll, Ballerina Maxie, was released. The 101 collection included the 101 Fashion Look set and 101 Hairstyles and Vanity set. To expand Maxie's wardrobe further, Hasbro would release more fashion packs, such as the So Cool Coordinates collection. Some fashion packs included unisex pieces that could fit Rob too. Hasbro would also release the Fancy Face makeup sets, which included real makeup for the Maxie doll. Meritus would release more Maxie-themed playsets and accessories, such as the High Energy Party Palace, City House, High Flying Sailboat, Sports Car, and Saddle Club Horse, among other items. Hasbro would also produce some accessories, such as the Fresh and Pretty Vanity and Bathtub. Some of these playsets and vehicles were also recycled for Hasbro's Cindy line. Hasbro shared some of the collections that would be a part of the Maxie product line for $19.90 in a catalog. These included Babysitter Maxie, Skating Pretty Maxie, Freewheelin' Maxie, which was recycled for the Cindy line, and the Rockin' Pretty line. The Rockin' Pretty line would have introduced a new friend named Bianca and would have also reused instrument molds from the Gem line, such as the M guitar. But only one line, the Sunsplash collection, would actually make it to store shelves. The Sunsplash line featured Maxie, Simone, Ashley, Carly, and Rob in colorful swimwear. Each doll came with color-changing sunglasses and a friendship bracelet. A set of color-changing Sunsplash fashions was supposed to be released as well. The January 11, 1990 issue of the Lodi News Sentinel would confirm that the Maxie line was canceled due to disappointing sales. Rather than retool Maxie, Hasbro would focus their efforts on Cindy and their New Kids on the Block license dolls. These two licenses unfortunately would not work out for Hasbro in the long term, and they would continue to play catch-up to Mattel in the fashion doll market. Despite its short run, the Maxie line was a celebration of late 80s teen culture with vibrant outfits, voluminous hair, and typical high school themes. Maxie rectified some of the mistakes Hasbro made with their previous lines, mainly with Gem, but there was still a lot that they needed to work on with their future brands.